Imagine Grandmaster and King the Conqueror getting in like a little tussle or entanglement, right? Both having teams of powered-ish-esque type beings to represent each other, or champions to represent them. Grandmaster having his beings to represent him, and King having his people to represent him. That's where all this BS came from. Grandmaster got his beings, and Whizzer, aka Speed Demon, was one of his beings representing Grandmaster. And his origin is kind of narrated here as well because of the Grandmaster. Grandmaster helping him concoct a super speed formula, chemical. You might see inconsistencies because he actually went through power progression or evolution by actually improving the original formula and enabling him to move faster than ever. So he's gotten faster, but as to what degree, it's very unknown. One of the reasons why he changed his name, the original Whizzer, and changed it to Speed Demon. He's one of those characters, even though he's fast, he's implied to have some type of fighting, kicking here. He might have some decent fighting training. Notice how he says karate chops with his super speed and stuff already shown. Blitzing is his main forte. And the reason why he's even had powers like this in the first place is because of the wellspring of power from which your abilities were spawned. Let's keep it real for a second. Speedsters in Marvel are underrated. Folks out here saying that they max out at Mach speeds and craziness like that. When it comes to grids for Speed Demon, Marvel doesn't seem to want to make up their mind on where they want to rank him in speed. But I think no matter how you look at it, he's way faster than human eyes can perceive, right? Like, for example, on this grid, they try to say his speed is a 4 out of 7, which at the time 4 was the speed of Mach 1, which is ridiculously slow. But then you have grids like this where they have his speed a lot faster. So when you look at these type of things, it's really hard to really get an understanding on their speed. And yeah, also he's also went by the name of Whizzer. Then you got characters like Speed Demon that don't get the much respect that he deserves. He's fast enough to do troll-ish type of stuff, to speed blitz your clothes off. Are you serious? But Speed Demon was a chemist from Hudson Pharmaceutical Company in West Caldwell, New Jersey. He was chosen by the Galactic Gamesman, known as Grandmaster, to become one of the 4 superhuman pawns in the contest of power against King the Conqueror. Yeah, beings like this Grandmaster. That's when he wanted to exercise his cosmic power to create his own squadron on another Earth. Several days before challenging Kane, the Grandmaster appeared to James Sanders, which is Speed Demon's real name, and offered him great power in return for a limited period of service. Sanders was given then the formula for a chemical tablet, which when ingested would alter Sanders' physiology to give him superhuman speed. Grandmaster is the one that gave him a costume and everything on top of it, and named himself Whizzer, and introduced him to the other members of the team called the Squadron Sinister. The Squadron Sinister was defeated in Grandmaster's game by the champions King had chosen for himself, the Avengers. Following this defeat, the Grandmaster granted Whizzer his freedom. Remained undercover for months and stuff like that, going on amazing adventures. You can see his powers and abilities here, superhuman speed, reflexes, and etc. They said he can run at a maximum speed of 160 miles per hour. That's definitely a lie based on the feats I'm going to show you in a couple seconds in the same video. It's kind of like the ton class system. Like, say, oh, Spider-Man's a 10-tonner class when he can lift way more than 10 tons. You know, something you take with a grain of salt. He's one of those characters where his speed is important to his striking power, so however fast he is technically how strong he is based on his striking power. So one should ask, how fast or how strong is Speed Demon? And can his speed bridge the gap on whatever strength he does lack when it comes to lifting stuff up, muscle-wise? He can use his super speed vibrations to break out of constraints like that. He can tear stuff apart simply by running through it with momentum. His speed makes his striking power strong enough to do this to Spider-Man himself. Look how his striking power allows him to do this to concrete, to toss rubble at a human torch to make him sleepy too. He threw a trash can lid with so much speed, Spider-Man even stated, he threw it with so much velocity it could shear my head clean. And I already showed this, but look how he's chopping up the concrete with his striking power. So yeah, thanks to his super speed karate chops. It's confirmed that he can at least run at the speed of sound, outrun a bullet. How can the speed of sound be his limit if he can break that speed with only one leg, showing that it's effortless to break the speed of sound? Imagine with 2 legs what his speed would be. He's too fast for the human eye to see. I even Googled such a thing. They said a ball would have to move 38,000 miles per hour for a ball to be invisible. Imagine somebody that's human size being invisible to human eyesight. And the kind of speed it would be needed to be a human sized person to be invisible. Way faster than Mach 1 for sure. Being invisible technically to human eyesight would technically mean he's at least 49 times the speed of sound at the very least. If a ball, not a human-sized person, can be this fast to be invisible, it will probably take even more speed for a human-sized person to be invisible. It's hard for us to imagine somebody human-sized being this fast. He will rip up the pavement every time he moves, technically. His speed has even been compared to Quicksilver, or one could say he's even faster. Quicksilver is somebody that is a bare bones minimum faster than the speed of light, or is as fast as light. Even beings with super senses like Namor say he can hardly see him, saying that Quicksilver was never this fast. Whizzer is that fast. The distance between Queens and Manhattan is literally 13 miles, and he runs there and back in just a few seconds. thanks to his raw speed. Spider-Man is one of those characters based on the fact of his reflexes and his precognition kind of makes his reflexes able to react to stuff that's faster than light or light speed. His performances against Spider-Man is important for this analysis. He's so fast that it's even stated that he's faster than my spider sense and blitzing. Hundreds of blows in a fraction of a second, quote unquote more than he's ever been hit in his entire life. Spider-Man can barely evade him on different occasions. Spider-Man stated he was too fast for him. Now, he's not afraid to blitz Spider-Man in a fashion similar to this. Somebody that's not a slowpoke, guys, when it comes to fighting speed. Right here, for example, Spider-Man has serious issues landing a hit on him thanks to his fighting speed. The only thing is that he does lack durability where characters, if they do land a hit, like Namor can actually one-shot knock him out. Or even Spider-Man if he lands a good hit. So I'm not trying to say he's unbeatable, but if he does land a hit, they can actually get him. You're probably thinking avoiding Spider-Man is no big deal. Spider-Man has had his fair share of going against beings that have the speed of light on their side, and he still can hold his own against beings like this, talking about how you can't outspeed me because I got the speed of light on my side. Yet Spider-Man still can evade and fight beings like this when it comes to his fighting speed, reflexes, and precognition, spider sense type stuff. If you still don't think his speed is impressive, Hyperion is a Superman knockoff in Marvel, kinda, sorta, and he's still, who has crazy fighting speed. The same Hyperion or different Hyperions in general are all comparable anyway, because there's multiple Hyperions in the main continuity, and they all seem to be around this range of speed, nanoseconds, when it comes to punching in a nanosecond later, which is 1/1000th of a second. I mean, he checked every room in the building in like 2 seconds. His raw speed is making friction fuse the sand into glass. When it comes to fighting speed and speed in general, I think we all can agree that Speed Demon is definitely faster than beings like Black Panther, Daredevil, Hawkeye, Super Soldier-esque type characters in speed. So a good way to find out a bare minimum on how fast he is, how fast are the Super Soldier Street-esque type of tiers in Marvel? And they're fast. If Super Soldier tiers like Daredevil can react in a microsecond, which is 1/1000th of a second, these characters are considered slow compared to Speed Demon speed. I mean, Hawkeye and Black Panther have also been stated to be able to react to something in microseconds. So, and Hawkeye don't got no powers. Imagine how fast Speed Demon is. He's too fast for alarms to trigger in time, the relay triggers. He's too fast for it. I mean, he's fast enough to play hockey with himself. When something big is about to pop off, like a low-level nuclear explosion type of thing, he can run out the radius fast enough to where the bomb won't necessarily hit him. He can run across Manhattan in 9 minutes. Maybe not his fastest showing of all time, but it's still something to look into when it comes to showing different occasions of his speed. In about 8 seconds, he's fast enough to go from Brooklyn all the way to South Street, Sewport, Manhattan. You got a more clear look at the situation when it comes to his speed. Zip out in extremely fast paced, zipping out of there. I mean, other superhuman beings he blitzed like the Wrecker, beings like Wolverine that have at least supersonic level reflexes or hypersonic reflexes have a hard time tagging Speed Demon or Whizzer. When all the speed people were racing, he's actually one of the people that was in the race, so let you know that he's way faster than the speed of light because most of the people on this list are way faster than the speed of light. Like Spectrum, I have a video about on the channel as well. You know, it's like a race. For a little bit, he was in front of Quicksilver here. You see him right here. And of course, he can funnel fire. Plenty of occasions of him just literally running up walls. When you have so much momentum, it's easy to just run your way all the way up there. He can move so fast, Human Torch's fire doesn't even have time to really burn him. He can just go through it that quick without being singed. Being a speedster starter pack, you have to have the ability to make some kind of cyclone or some type of wind funnels, or one could say some type of tornadoes with your speed. That's just a classic hurricane-like ability that every speedster seems like they have to concrete their speedsterness, if that makes sense. I mean, who do you know that's so fast he can run through Spider-Man's web before they have a chance to fully harden up? That's some crazy speed. Taking a picture of him is nearly impossible because he's basically a blur. It's one of those things I shouldn't even have to tell you that he can move faster than the eye can see, to where even if you try to blast him, yeah, he can just dodge you. Hydra Man was trying to hit him, but he's over here. That's the advantage he has over people that might be physically stronger. Blitzing is his specialty, right? Blur effect, hard to track. People don't even notice him because he's so freaking fast. They don't even understand how he can be robbed. They didn't even see nothing come near him. Yeah, being super fast is the best way to steal money, I guess. It's stated he's too fast, you can't see him. Just stealing cameras and accessories as a blur because he's too fast. What do you think the limits of his speed are? He's one of those characters that don't really get explored that much because he's not like super popular or something. The best way to hit him via blitz is beings like Wolverine being able to predict their movements, and the fact that Wolverine's not slow either. So one could say battle IQ with fighting speed can hit him. And characters that fly through space and do interstellar travel like Nova, one could say, are faster than Speed Demon possibly. I mean, anybody that can throw a trash can lid with so much speed he can decapitate Spider-Man, somebody that's extremely durable for his tier, lets you know his level of power. He's fast enough to create his own after images out of just raw speed. It looks like at different places at the same time. He has decent agility and acrobatics on top of it. And I already showed you this, but he can vibrate to break constraints. and the classic vortexes I already showed you. His durability is not what he specializes in, but he can recover seemingly decently quick, like in this case with Wolverine, or punches that one could say are rocket punches. That gives your fist extra speed and power. Beings like Rhino, I would say, could give him issues though. But the thing about Speed Demon is that he has incredible potential, but I think the real enemy is the writers, because somebody that should be able to move like this, or at least close to the speed of light, should be like a threat for the powerhouses, but he's implied to not be like a legit powerhouse based on his occasions. Like most speedsters, for the most part, a lot of people consider them to be in the brute heavy hitters because of their raw speed, but he seems to be around the Spider-Man Venom ranges when it comes to the tier he belongs in. It's like the writers don't really want to explore his full speed or potential, because he could be at least a planet buster if we take the faster than light stuff seriously. Beings like Hyperion, we know are faster than light, can't really tag him. Spider-Man has fought fast light speed stuff before. Spider-Man still can dodge stuff like this, but yet we've seen him blitz characters like Spider-Man, even with the spider sense, even being too fast for the spider sense. Not to mention, he's one of those characters that lack appearances. For the most part, Speed Demon is extremely fast. I wouldn't necessarily go as far as saying he's as fast as Silver Surfer or faster than Silver Surfer. I wouldn't say he's as fast as the Runner or Makari either, though, but he's still fast regardless. Being able to blitz Spider-Man, Hyperion has trouble hitting him, somebody that can move fast in the light, stuff like that. But he really just likes to show us to say he's a true powerhouse. Definitely in the Spider-Man or symbiote ranges at the bare minimum. Could potentially be higher if the writers actually wanted to do more with him. But at the end of the day, that could be just me. How strong do you think Whizzer is or Speed Demon? Let's get it. I'll see you guys later, though. But I also got to remind you that, yeah, he still can speed blitz units extremely fast. And thanks for the donations, guys. Respect Speed Demon, though. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.